We've got a new project today. We're going to make this beautiful heart. I'm going to show you how to do it from start to finish, and I've got a template for you to make this job super easy. Hey, welcome back to the shop, everybody. Today we're going to do this fun project using a heart template, and you saw this beautiful heart, and if you look closely, it's got leather that kind of stitches it all up together. There's some symbolism behind all that, and I'll probably share that in through the video. But this template is pretty cool because it's got the shape, of course, and it's got the registration points for those holes that we need for the leather lacing. So I'm going to show you every step of the way. This is a super easy project, and it's also a profitable project for those of you that are doing this professionally. Now, this is a dual purpose template because you can make a cool cutting board like this. And I just sold one of these the other day, as a matter of fact. So that's kind of a nice bonus to be able to use one template for multiple projects. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to pan down and I'll show you what I'm doing. As you can see, the heart is made out of two pieces of wood, and you could make it one piece and then cut it on your table saw, but I don't see the need to really spend that extra time. So I've got this beautiful piece of walnut, and it's a little on the funky side though. Even though it's got some nice grain and all, we've got knots in some wrong places. So it really limits me as to what I can do for this piece of wood. But the cool thing is, this will work perfect for my heart template. So I'm going to just go ahead and scribe a line, and obviously the center line is right here. In fact, on the template, I even give you just a reference point. But I'm going to go ahead and mark this out, leave a little extra, and then I'll cut it out at the bandsaw. So it's going to go just like this. And on the opposite side, let's see, make sure I'm not getting into the weird stuff. I am going to go ahead and trace this out like so. Okay, perfect. Let's go over to the bandsaw and we'll get this blasted out. So with your template, I'm going to go ahead and include a straight edge for you, and that will make this cut just an absolute breeze. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking my double-sided tape, and I'm just going to put a couple pieces down. This stuff is great. It's called spec tape. Okay. So I wiped everything down beforehand so I don't have any sawdust. I've got to get the backing off. I'm just using a scratch awl. And it little finesse it a couple of times, you've got it down pretty easily. And then I'm going to go ahead and register this like so. Let's see, there I am. Okay, I'm going to do this for both sides and run it through the router table with a flush trim bit. We'll do that in time lapse. Hey, well, this looks really good. So now our next step is to go ahead and apply the template to the wood. And I'm thinking, originally I was just going to do one piece at a time, but you know, I think I'm going to try both pieces using enough of the double-sided tape. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and then we'll go over the router table. If it's a failure, then you get to see it on film. So let's hope it all works. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, just do one side at a time. Hey, that worked out perfectly. No problem at all. So what I'm going to do is pop this template back up. And we're going to use a round over bit on the router to put a nice clean edge on everything except the inside. So how long is this project going to take? I'm going to guess an hour, maybe even a little under. The more time-consuming part is filming. but this goes really quickly. So you're probably, I sell these for, I think it was $65. So, you're going to make maybe $52 for a project like this. So not bad, not bad at all. Well, it's starting to look like something. Everything looks great. The round over turned out beautifully. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this registered. This is where that line, hopefully you can see that, where that line comes into play here. Makes it much easier for you to line this up. And these are 1/8 inch holes. That's just so you can get your pencil in there. There we go. And I'm going to simply make a mark in each of these. And then I'm going to drill a 5/32 hole. That'll accommodate that leather. And the leather will come with your kit with the template and the straight edge. And I'll have enough leather in there that you can make 2 of these. Let's take a look. Okay. I can just see them. I think I'll do is take my magic marker, make a little dot where they are, and then I can either use my drill or my drill press to make this happen. I think I'm going to take it over to the drill, and I'll do that off air. Here's a couple real quick tips before I get going on drilling these holes. I've got my spoil board, and that prevents the walnut from ripping out when the drill bit goes through. So that'll save you time, trust me. And I've got some double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is attach this to the spoil board, just like that. Now the second tip, I've got these holes laid out. You can take a scratch awl and make an indentation in the center of those holes. If you use a brad point drill bit, it's got that nice little tip. You can index that right into the hole, and it just makes it easy to find that center. So there you go. All right. So this is the back side of the wood, and as you can see, there is no tear out whatsoever. So I just saved myself a lot of grief by just taking that extra step. Now, what I'm going to do, we could stop right here, do the finish, and then lace this up, but I'm going to take a little extra step. I'm going to use this bit right here, and it's this edge that's going to take down the hole here just a tiny bit. Maybe you can see that. Just looks like that. The leather lace is going to cover up much of that, but it just makes for a nice clean finish, in my opinion. So do what you want to do, but that's what I'm going to do right now, and then we'll get into sanding. I've got that nice little chamfer in there, and it looks really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and sand. I'll do that off camera, but we're talking about doing a 120 and 180. No need to go higher than 180, and the reason being is the finish. I'm going to use my board butter, but then I'm going to use the Carnauba wood finish and polish from Skylar Ewing's Woodworking, and I use this with a buffing wheel, and it makes this stuff just so velvety smooth. You don't need to go up to 220 or higher. So there you go. I'll bring you back when I apply the finish, and then we'll get to lacing this stuff up, and we're just about done. Well, the sanding is complete, and it's really nice and soft and supple. So it's time to apply my finish, which is going to be, I'm going to start with the board butter and then work my way up to the Carnauba wood finish and polish that I showed you earlier. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to be getting some of that board butter down into the holes, and that's not a problem. With the leather, we're going to use it kind of like dental floss and just kind of clean out the holes so we're not discoloring the leather. So this is where we have a little fun, because this grain is really pretty. It really makes it pop. How beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and get this board butter applied, and then I'm going to let this sit for about 20 minutes and then wipe off any excess, and then we'll apply the Carnauba wood finish and polish. So this is what the Carnauba wood finish and polish looks like. It's really pretty, and it's fairly solid. It's a wax. So what I do is I simply get a little bit onto my finger and just spread it around just a little bit. Doesn't take a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my drill attachment. It's got a little buffer on it. And I'm going to use a lot of friction, which will create heat like this. I'll finish up the rest of it off camera. So I'm going to go after this. It takes maybe a couple minutes, and then I'm going to let it sit maybe another 15-20 minutes, and then wipe any excess off, and then we're going to string the leather, and that's going to go really quick. Well, the next step is to use a pipe cleaner and just clean out these holes in case there's some leftover carnauba or board butter. Only takes a second. And then we're going to use the leather cord. Going to pull a 3-foot piece off, put a double knot on one end, and we're just going to fish it through. So I'm going to do that in time lapse so you get an idea how it's done. Okay, I've got the leather strung through the holes, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start snugging this down. We don't want it to be like all floppy. And I'm checking my leather, seeing if it's twisted or not. This is the time to fix it if it is. Okay. Now, go back through, double check my work, give it another good snug. It's looking good. Now, when it hangs against the wall, it's not going to be floppy, but it will be floppy when you're just holding it. So keep that in mind. So now what I'm going to do, flip this over. You can see my knot right here, and that's what we're going to have to do on this side. So again, give it a good snug, and I'll just go ahead and get a double knot on there. I'll have to finesse it just a little bit to make sure it stays nice and snug, and then we'll trim off the leather ends. Hey, that turned out pretty slick. I'm going to go ahead and cut this leather. So that's what you'll have left over from your 36-inch piece. And let's see how we did. Nice. Okay, the last step is I'm just going to go ahead and put a hanger on it, and it'll look something like that, just a cable hanger, and it will hang flat to the wall. So there you go. Okay, let me shift the camera and we'll wrap this project up. Hey, that was a fun and simple project. It came together really quickly. It looks absolutely beautiful. Make for a great gift, and this is something that sells. So there you go for those of you that are trying to make some money doing this. Now, I hinted at the story behind all this, and I'm going to share that with you in just a second. But I just wanted to let you know, I do have the template, and I've got the straight edge, and it's going to come with, as a kit, the leather, 2 pieces of 3-foot long leather. So you get 2 projects out of this. And again, you can make a cutting board out of the template, that sort of thing. So anyway, it's in the show notes if you're interested. All right, so let me tell you the crazy story behind this. My wife absolutely adores hearts, and I was feeling particularly romantic, I guess, and I was thinking about, we got married 31 years ago. We've been together for 33 years. We had each been married before, and that was a little bumpy for both of us. So I thought about, when we got married, we were a couple of wounded souls lashing our hearts together to be a great married couple. And I thought, well, how can I convey that? And I thought, why don't I lash these hearts together as symbology for coming together in our marriage? So there you go. That's how it came about. All right, guys, I hope you're enjoying the channel. Please hit subscribe, hit the bell, get all my notifications. I've got a ton of stuff coming up, and it's going to be varying from wood projects to laser projects. And I'm overdue to turn a bowl. I'd love to turn bowls. So stay tuned. There's lots coming, and thank you very much. I really appreciate you following along.